Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to Scar World, our creative house building world here, where we're building our super awesome backyard in today's episode, where we're going to have a super awesome swimming pool, trees, and custom landscaping all throughout. And this is our final building episode, and I'm so glad you guys have enjoyed building this small modern house with me. And as you can see in our last episode, we completed our front yard where we have all sorts of beautiful little details down here. And of course, my friends, we have Jelly keeping an eye on the driveway. Bob the Creeper Building Inspector making sure the windows are all up to code. See him? He's measuring that, getting it all ready. But in today's episode, as you can see, we have our pathway lined up and ready to go leading to our pool. We have our dimensions all set up and we're ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do today is get our fencing done that we did in our last episode. So let's get that complete. And like that, we now have a backyard fence. So what you need to do here is start at the post that we left in our last episode and then go 24 posts. So every post is a hardened clay block. So post, 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 all the way down to here, and then stretch that all the way across, lining it up with the previous section. And there you go, and you're ready to roll. All right, my friends. So now we're gonna work on our pool. So let's start getting the pool sorted out, and we're going to try a couple different materials like this whole project has been about, is using different materials, and we're going to use a stone slab. So this is our first building material here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to call this our first block here, and then we're going to go 8 blocks this way. So very, very awesome. So this pool is going to be a little different than our usual pools. We usually use a lot of quartz, and I just wanted to mix things up. Like everything in this build is supposed to be a little different. All right, so pushing that back 1 block here, we're going 2 this way, and then of course like that, so you can see it from above, like that, and like that. Beautiful, just a simple pattern. So of course that is 8 blocks, and then sneaking over here, doing the same. And boy, whenever I start to build pools, I just get so nostalgic for swimming. Like I just miss swimming so much. And it also just reminds me of summer. Like every time I start to build a pool, even if it's in the dead of winter, like our s'more house, and now we're just getting close to spring. Let me give you the dimensions for this. And this of course is 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to start working on our spawn. So off of this block right here, we're going to start bringing these blocks up there like that. And then this section will be 3. Once we finish here, then we are going to go 2. So once we go over to here, then we start on another section of 3, like so. But yeah, I just miss swimming very much. I was like I've mentioned so many times in all of my previous builds, I was a competitive swimmer for most of my life, and had to stop when I got sick. But and I haven't really been swimming too much since then. When I was starting to get sick, there were times when I could kind of go swimming, and it could, you know, at that time, like if I got really weak, I usually could build back up a little bit and kind of get back to normal. Not normal, but just a little bit better. But these days, that's not really the case anymore. But yeah, swimming just was so important to my life. And you don't really realize something like that until it's taken away from you. And so make sure you guys cherish the things that you have. You know, you might be kind of like, oh, I don't want to go do this, or I don't want to go do that. But think about it. You might not have that opportunity forever. And make sure you try to be as thankful for what you have as much as you can. There we go. You might notice this little section right here is a little bit out of place. It's because this isn't a full like dimensions. You know, we go block, block, block. So what you can do without fretting, just make it a gate. Just make it a gate. And there you go. It looks completely natural. And you could actually put that wherever you want. So I was looking at that and I was like, oh, scar fail all over the place. But then I thought, why don't we take the scar fail and make it scar hype? And we made a fence. There we go, my friends. All right, so next thing we're going to do before we start digging down is we're going to fill the pool now. And this, believe me, this is going to make things so much easier. And I got a little distracted there, as you could hear. I'm not used to the new 1.9 sound still. Like, I'm like, what is that sound? I don't know. Haha, wonderful. I thought it was a slime, to be honest. There we go. Now, the spa is just a little too small for waterfalls. I did kind of test that out a little bit, and unfortunately doing like a cool little waterfall, like, you know, flowing down here, it's just wouldn't work for this particular pool. I want this whole backyard to be simple. I just want it to be simple, clean, and nice. It's not too extravagant because that's the style of the house. It's just a nice house. Nothing too extravagant. And there we go, my friends. We have our pool set up from above, and there's an aerial view for it. And if you want to do any dimension checks, you can do it right there. And wonderful, super awesome. So my friends, let's start working on the decking. So as you can see, we're going to start bringing these out about 3 blocks. We may increase this a little bit once we get a little farther in, but the general layout here is going to be about 3. As you can see, we're going to go like that. And then what I want to do here is I'm going to sneak over here real quick, and I'm going to go like this. I'm going to bring these pieces out like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start dropping them down like that. There we go. I'm just guessing at this point, as you can imagine. Haha, just guessing a little bit. Just trying to kind of get a basic design that we can work with. And you can do whatever you want in this design. See, I'm just going to increase that just a little bit. The reason being is you can add like a nice planter right here or something like that. Like I'm liking that. Like that's not too bad, right? And you can kind of get an idea of the dimensions. And then in this little area, what you can do is, maybe even just take out all the dirt throughout here. And then you can fill that in like so. As you can see, fill that all in like there. Looking good so far. And then let me sneak back over here, cut that in there like that, bring it over here. And let's see. Yeah, there we go, my friends. And what we could do also is maybe even just kind of build up this section like that. I don't know, maybe we can cut this part out a little bit and do maybe just a little bit of flowers here. So why don't we jump over here? Why don't we grab out a little coarse dirt? There we go. And we'll just fill this in a little bit like that. There we go, very awesome. And then we can jump over here, maybe take a couple of these plants like that. And there we go, just a little problem solving, coming up with ideas together like that. I love it, my friends, I love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start bringing this piece across here. So we're still working in about 3 blocks. It doesn't have to be symmetrical because I do like the idea of kind of adding these planters and just find what works best for you in this, in the decking. Once you get the basic dimensions of the pool and all those good things, you can just kind of come up with the decking as you see fit. And yeah, I like that, my friends. I like that quite a bit. So I'm going to bring this piece all the way across here like that. And just continuing that across there, looking good so far. And then I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3 out here like that. Cut these pieces in, fix the scar mistakes. So many scar mistakes, you can't even keep track of them. There we go, maybe do something like that. And now what we need to do is come up with the idea for connecting this area. So this area is going to be a little different, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these pieces all the way up to here. And then I'm going to maybe go like, that's kind of interesting. How about I go like this? How about we go like this? We bring this piece up like that. And then we're going to swoop around the back here like so and connect these guys like that. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure. Why don't we just fill this in like this, like we've done before. I'm actually gonna go like this. I'm gonna stick that guy under there like that. See how we clean that all up and do something like that. Like I'm kind of liking that a little bit. And then what we could do is bring these pieces upwards like so, around the sides like that. There we go, looking good so far. And then we can bring that like that. And yeah, something like that looks really clean, really nice. And then of course we can bring these pieces all along here, and you can choose to put in any other plants or anything along those lines that you want. We fill in each one of these little corners like that, bring it up to about here, and then we can start this line going across this way. Looking good, looking good. So yeah, like I've said, the decking doesn't have to be any particular way. You can just see fit to put it however you want. There we go. And if you do some variations of the decking, definitely let me know. I'd love to see what you guys can come up with. Send me a picture on the Twitters. There we go. My link is always in the description to Twitter. There we go. Put that across there. Beautiful, wonderful, awesome. And then we'll sneak on over here, put this down like that. Swoop on back once again and fill in this section right here. And they'll fill in that area over there. All right, so now that we're running about finished up here on our decking, we need to start considering what we want to do for our landscaping. So do we want to add some extra trees? Do we want to add some extra kind of other decorational details? So that's what I'm going to come up with now. So give me 1 second. Let me kind of catch my breath and I'll be right back. All right, and welcome back. And I did change this section over just a little bit. I still haven't quite found the exact way I want to do the, the stair down here. But one thing I found in this area where we can improve is we left it like this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fill this all in and make a square like so, like that. There we go, looking good. And then we'll just fill this all in with our birch leaves. There we go. Birch leaves look so nice next to spruce, doesn't it? It looks amazing. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make a little lounge chair like that. Then we're going to take our oak and then we're going to bring this up to, we'll bring that up to, what's that, about 4? Yeah, let's just say we go up to about 4 like so. And then we'll bring that down like that and start wrapping these guys all the way across. Now, sometimes this can be a little tricky where we're trying to make an umbrella, of course. And so sometimes these guys can be a little tricky, but just hang with me here for a second as we kind of, take a block out, add a block, take a block out. It's kind of the nature of the game when trying to do these things. There we go. So as you can see, there's our pattern like that. All right, so that's where we are at this point. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drop that down like that. Once again, we're going to knock you out. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do my best here. There we go. There we go. Looking good. Looking good. And then we're going to put this one there, then knock out that guy, replace him like so. All right. And then we need to do this one more time right there. Awesome. Okay. So that's a really basic umbrella. I would like to add just a little something extra to it, like maybe an extra little piece kind of hanging down right here. That might look kind of cool. So let's just see how that looks. Yeah, that might work. That might work. We'll see. Let's just see. Yeah, I like that, my friends. So we'll just do that right here and remove these guys like so. And there we go. That's actually pretty simple, where you can just put these ones down, add some on the bottom, cut out the tops like that, swoop on the side here. And I know I said I wasn't going to try to use very much quartz, but I feel like it works for this particular build here like that. And there we go. There's our umbrella looking very fancy up there. But yeah, I think that looks really nice. Let's work on our pathways. So let's get some clay out and see what we can do about getting that set up. So we'll grab that. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to start about here. So let's see. So this is 8. So if we put something like that and come out here like that, yeah, that'll work. So we'll go like something like this, connect into our pathway that'll lead outwards like this. Bring in maybe just a little extra on this side, bring you in, cut you out. Looking good, my friends. So our pathways are just going to be a bit haphazard. They're just going to be kind of flow through this direction. Now, remember in our last episode where we worked on our interior. So we worked on our interior, and I gave you guys the choice of having a window or a door. Unfortunately, the video hasn't gone out yet, so I don't know your guys' opinions on that. But I'm sorry, Team Window, because I realize we really need a way out of the house from the interior, living room area. And I personally am on Team Window, but unfortunately we are going to take that out and replace it and make it a door, because I think it just will fit better with the theme. But yeah, personally, I probably was on Team Window, but Team Door is going to win out this time, my friends. You'll get us this time. We'll get them next time. Wonderful. All right, my friends, let me finish these pathways, and I'll catch you in the tree department. All right, and welcome back. And I got a little hedge crazy on our design here, and I added little hedges kind of around the different patterns just to start breaking up some of the dirt. And let's get started with our first tree. Now, this little corner right here, so as you can see, I've just kind of ran that across there. Pathways along there looking super fancy. So this is going to be a fairly large tree, somewhat outstretching over the pool very slightly. So we're probably going to have some leaves in the pool. So we're going to put that up here. And now this, of course, is a scar oak. There we go. Put that across there. And just a really basic structure. Most of this won't show like we talked about in our last episode, but it's good just to lay the foundations down for the tree. And as you can see, we just start adding these extra little blocks all along here. And then what we could do is, put up a little extra of our system up there, looking very, very good. And yeah, it's like we talked about in the last episode. Just start kind of feeling it around, trying to find where the natural parts of it are. Try to keep the rain from falling on your head. There we go. Yeah, like I said, there's no real rhyme or reason. Just try to make it as natural as possible. And what you want to do is maybe make it arch to one side, have a couple branches that kind of hang down a little bit, maybe even blowing in the breeze just ever so slightly. So that's kind of the main design when trying to work with the trees. So yeah, see how it's a little less on this side and it's a little more hanging over this section like that. That'll also help frame up the pool nicer and then give a little shade on the deck and all sorts of good things like that. There we go. All right, we are looking super good here so far. I want to make it a little taller and all those extra little details. So let me work on that now. All right, and welcome back. And I got a little carried away and I made another tree over there. But as you can see, that's starting to look good, and I've worked on some of the flower beds. So that's what we're going to work on over here. So first thing we're going to do is start kind of filling in these flower beds, and another tree is going to go in that section right there. So what I like to do is just kind of fill this all in, just kind of haphazard and random like a so. And then what I can do is put in just a couple of little ferns like this. Remember to try to keep some of the larger plants towards the back of the design. So instead of taking, a large fern and putting it right there, try to put it back, say if you're maybe right here, and then put, a couple ferns in front of it like so. Don't try to get too crazy and put it like right in front. It just, it looks much better with it in the back. Everything is more scaled, more proportioned, and ready to roll. So as you can see, that looks pretty good. And then like we talked about, always just try to be subtle with the flowers. Don't get too crazy with them. You want to add the flowers. You want to have a little color, a little splash of posaillas in the design, but you don't want to get wild with it. You don't want to get wild with it. All right, and what I'm thinking about right here is just kind of doing a scar bush. So just kind of getting that all designed like that. So like our scar oak, we kind of use the same design like that. Getting that all in there like that, looking super fancy like that. There we go, looking cool. And then put that right there. Awesome. All right, and like we talked about, we put these big guys in the back like so. And then we can kind of fill in the front here with some smaller flowers. There we go. And we'll put those guys in there like that. And look at that, we're starting to get a really nice flower bed along here. Now this section along here could use something, I'm not 100% sure what, like a smaller tree design maybe like some other ones, I'm not 100% sure, but I know into the interior like this, we can definitely do some plants. And if we choose to add a tree or anything along those lines, we can just stick that right up. But can you imagine, look at how much progress we've gotten done today, it's amazing. I love all the progress we've got today so far. The pool still needs to be deepened. We still need to deepen the pool a little bit. And we'll definitely get to that in a minute. But yeah, I'm just shocked by it. We're actually getting a lot done. It's only been about an hour and a half of recording, and we've already pretty much got a huge chunk of the landscaping done, which I'm really satisfied with actually. And it's really cool. So like I talked about, this is my last episode of building on this particular project. Our next episode, of course, will be the tour. And then we're moving on to our next build. And in the comments, if you guys stayed to this long, let me know. Like we talked about before, like, are you guys still thinking? Because we're still trying to figure out what our next house is going to be inside the world here. You know, we've worked in a lot of different modern houses. We tried to do a little challenge with this house in that we were trying to make, and I'm still leaving a spot there for a tree, a large tree. So like we talked about, this was kind of a challenge house. We tried to make it so that it was a modern house, but we wanted to try to use blocks that we don't otherwise use for modern style. And I feel like we got there. I kind of do feel like that. I'm pretty satisfied with the design, and oh my gosh, that flower bed looks beautiful. And we just put a couple of these guys right here and there. But yeah, I really do think we got really close, at the very least, we got very close to making this like a really kind of a nice style. Like I really hope we did get there in the end, because that was the goal. It's fun sometimes to jump out of your comfort zone and try something new, and that's what we tried today. If we failed, if we succeeded, doesn't matter, because we tried, and we left our comfort zone and we tried something different. And it's all you can really ask for when you're trying to design and build and all of those good things, is just try different things once in a while, or you just get kind of stale and boring. And that's what I like, trying the oak and trying that little bit of cobblestone. We didn't use a lot of cobblestone in the end, but we used it in a really subtle way. And I think it really does kind of feel like some rock or something like that on the side of the house. And I don't know otherwise how we could have achieved that design without cobblestone. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with how that came out. And there we go, that's looking good. And I'm just gonna fill this in like so. There we go, looking good. And then like before, you know, you can also stick a couple of these guys down here like that. I think that kind of breaks it up just ever so slightly. And maybe a little flower there, just hanging out. Awesome, my friends. We are really moving along. So right here, you know what? I kind of like that design without a tree a little bit. But I think it does need a tree to balance out the rest of the backyard. So give me 1 second, let me put in the trees, and I'll be right back. All right, and welcome back, and let's take a look at our brand new yard. So let's go through our gate here. And as you can see, we have all sorts of beautiful flower beds, details on our walls. Moving through the pathway here, we end up in our brand new pool deck with, of course, our pool looking very, very fancy here. We have our umbrella in the back. We have a chair. We have custom trees throughout. And I like this little gate that we came up with at the end. You know, we didn't quite have the right dimensions, but we made a gate out of it. And I think it's kind of cool. It leads out into the forest out there, maybe the forbidden forest. But yeah, look at this place. I think it's pretty good. So in one episode here, we got quite a bit done today. We got our entire backyard and pool set up and ready to go. Also in this back section over here, we got more little flower beds and plants and creeper inspectors, making sure everything's up to code. And of course, my friends, here is our door that leads in and out of the house. And I think this makes more sense than a window, even though I like the idea of the window, but I think this will work out very wonderful. And hopefully today, this build inspired you for your own backyard pools and backyard designs. And there we go, my friends. Hopefully you enjoyed. And until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar. And I always really appreciate it if you could take a second to like the video if you enjoyed it. And until next time, we'll see you later. And don't forget to follow me on Twitch and Twitter. And bring this all the way across here like that. And I love a good landscaping episode, don't you guys? I love it. I've actually loved landscaping since I was a very young Scar.